So I have a long form video on repairing the battery compartment and also the switches in this. So in this video, I'm just going to get a little bit of a better angle on it because this is a second one. But he ended up getting two of them because he wasn't sure if one would be salvageable. We already fixed the last one, and so now I'm going to fix this one. This one will be heavily edited, and it won't be a full-length video. That other video is like an hour and 20 minutes long. Just crazy long video. But we're going to test this guy out and see how she goes. Guess I can get my screwdriver. It'd probably be helpful. And just take a look at this battery compartment in here. This one's rusted out battery compartment. More likely than not, it's going to be the same deal where I'm going to have to take these paws apart and resolder them and probably do some more hot glue in there like I did. You can see the corrosion on this one is pretty heavy. It's green. So I don't even see any point in putting batteries in it right now to test it. To fix one of these properly, you're going to need to have needle and thread with some sewing skills. You'll need to have some solder skills, and you'll have to be able to troubleshoot a circuit board if you need to. More likely than not, it'll be fine. But if wires come undone and you have to figure out where the wire was originally, then that could be challenging. But if you just look at it and it hasn't been messed with, then you should be able to just intuitively figure out where wires go, even if all of them were ripped off the board. That one screw doesn't want to come out. I'm not using my little blue mat today because this is, a stuffed animal, and I use it for soldering. I'll just let it drip on the table. I just don't want to introduce any chunks and stuff too. See how there's rust here on these screws? Even like on this screw and this screw. So I hope this switch is good. Actually, do you see? Really hard to see in the video, I bet. I'm gonna grab a little screwdriver. Do you see this right here? How it's that solder joint is coming delaminated. So yeah, it's coming undone. This, I feel like this thing has been watered. I don't think that terminal was supposed to go to anything. I think they just put a dab of solder on there just to have it on there. And I'm looking at the circuit board and I don't see a whole lot on it. I don't see any rust like on the circuitry itself. And I try not to move the speaker on this because the last one I had to re-glue in there, and I just don't want to risk ripping the paper if I can avoid it. It'll make it a little bit more challenging, but be able to do a better job at it. Peel this circuit board up. Yeah, see, that looks fine in there. I don't see any rust or anything. So it looks like our positive's going to come in here. Negative's going to come in here. And you can even see it, like if you see the label on here, see how it's negative and positive. I'm going to take these all out. Get the new ones in there. Do a little bit of video editing magic probably, so you guys don't have to watch me like last time. It was pretty excessive. The solder gun's not hot yet. Definitely a bit of corrosion on it. I need to grab my solder shut sucker. Just don't know where I put it. Go ahead and desolder this one. I mean, you really can't mess up the orientation on this, dude. Just with the way it's designed, the battery compartment. Trying to uncurl these back so they'll slide out. This one does not want to come uncurled. Ooh, I don't think these are very sharp nippers. There we go. Got that ripped off in there. And then I'll bend this back out straight like that. I'm trying to push in and see if it'll just come out. That one did a little bit. Yeah. See, this one, there's too much solder on it, so it's not going to want to poke out with all that solder. Let me try a different pair of nippers. That was violent. They went flying across the room. There we go. It's quite a bit of force to get those out. Trying to bend that deal up. Because it digs into the plastic to hold it in there. There we go, we got it moving some. Left a little bit of a mark down in there. There's one. I'm gonna go ahead and pause this video so it's not terribly long, and take these out, clean it up, get the new ones in there, and then I'll solder them in. Okay, so got the old ones out, got it all cleaned up. You can see there are some rust stains in here, but it's as good as it's gonna get without, say, using some type of a solvent, which I don't want to use on this. This is good enough for me. Looks pretty clean. Got new terminals in there. So now all we need to do is solder them in place. Let's see how she goes. When you're putting these in, if you just take them all out and put them all in, if you're reading where it goes, the positive one will always be flat. The negative one is always on a spring. And you can even see when you look on a battery, that's how it goes. The spring goes on the negative, which is the flat side. So I'm just gonna double check. Yeah, this one's the negative terminal. This one's positive, so. One thing you're gonna wanna think about is, and in my last video, I bent these out. They were from the factory, but it made it, like, it's rather tight clearance in here. So I'm gonna bend these one in, and that should solve the clearance issue that I was having. It's hard for me to hold that wire. I didn't hold it still good enough. So I'm just gonna heat it up and redo it. Try to hold it still. I think, yeah, my solder gun's really high. My little brother was using it the other day, but it kind of melted that wire a little bit. You can see. And now I'm going to take and I'm going to bend this inward like we agreed. And that should work good. Turn this dude over. See about doing this one. I think when they made these from the factory, they just did them quick and cheap. I don't think they used very good help. Because like all of the solder joints on these are just kind of not really impressive looking. But it is a toy. So they probably didn't even really care. Couldn't really hold that thing still to save my life. I guess some days I'm a little bit more shaky than other days. But let's drop some batteries in here and test it. So now, this little bit of delamination that you see on here, it is for a pin on the switch that is unused. If this breaks off, it might do a little bit of damage. So I think I'm just gonna rip that off now. Just like pull the band-aid off and be done with it. Now, if that was on a bit of the circuit board where it would have mattered, I would have had to try to fix it, but we're just gonna go ahead and remove it. Yeah, all the places where it's solder is, you know, connected pretty good. Can't forget to bend this terminal in. I'm gonna kind of visually check that my wires won't get smashed. Looks all good. I'm just gonna screw this thing back together also because all the solder joints look good, and I think if it doesn't work, then it's probably gonna be the switches again. That circuit board did get wet, but it probably didn't mess up the chipset. It could have just been in a very humid or moist environment, and maybe that's why the screws became rusty. Or it could have been, you know, the batteries leaking and giving out, making it rusty. Right, because I don't think this whole thing was dunked in water or anything like that. Yeah, I think there's a lot better of an angle on the camera than it was in the last video. The last video, he was looking at the back of my head quite a bit.
I just love having friends for dinner.
Okay, that one works. We're going to check the other one.
Friends for dinner.
That one also works. I'm going to turn that off because that thing will scare me. I forgot to clean this up, so I'll clean that up before I screw it in there. Now, you want to look at the old corroded terminals. Tried to break the circuit board. Throw them dudes away. Now I'm going to open this up and look in these paws, because if it's anything like the other one, those deals are probably getting pretty close to being coming undone. I'm just going to future-proof it. Nip these wires off from here. I'll probably go ahead and pause this video again. You can watch that other one if you really want to watch me pulling all these out of the paws. So we'll see. I'll let you see in a second what they look like. I guess I could give you one little helpful hint. There is a thread puller machine, and if you were to do something like this, I would probably go down to Walmart and just go buy one, because nipping threads with just wire cutters is kind of exhausting, and a thread puller would be a lot easier. Because like I gotta try to fish in here and fish these out. Or if I had a thread puller, it would go a lot more smoothly. But if I can get both sides free, then I can just keep working it and work those threads out of there. Because it's just regular. There we go. Kind of just keep working both sides. If you got a thread puller, you could just, the thread ripper just goes right underneath your thread and cuts it. So like you can just cut them open easy that way. Like this way works too. Just kind of go back a few stitches, kind of pull them up, and they'll come undone from each other. Okay, now I'll actually pause it and show you what it looks like inside. So like here's the first side I did. And the video doesn't really show you, but you can see where like 50% of the wire is coming undone just from the edge of it. So we're going to go ahead and snip just a little bit off, resolder them down, and put a dab of glue on this other side like we do, and put it back together. And that'll require stitching it back into the paw where it was and everything. So putting all the stuffing back in there. But I'm not going to bore you all on this video doing that. Here's the other side. You can see I glued it to stabilize it. And the reason I did that is because now when it moves a little bit, it is not moving onto the solder connections so it won't snap off. They should have done that from the factory. This one was also pretty close to becoming undone. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and slide this dude back in this little deal, sew it all back up, and it should be good as new. I'm just gonna go ahead and finish sewing this dude up on my 125-year-old treadle sewing machine. It looks like the camera's about ready to fall. There's not really any good place to put the camera over around in here, so you can't really see the sewing machine all that great. These old treadle machines, you had to physically lift up the foot to back stitch. But now there she is, all sewn up. And I'm gonna go ahead and get the zip tie back on this dude and put the battery compartment in there and give her a test run. Shoot, now I can't remember again if the battery compartment goes in there that way or this way. Huh. The words face up. I'll just put it in there this way then. And that, yeah, it'll make sense with gravity. How about that? Try to get this guy in here even. Back the way it was. Try to bunch some of this fabric down towards the bottom and sides. Okay, there we go. Get that fabric even enough to where it looks good. Cut this guy off flush so there's no sharp edges. Perfect. Now we'll go ahead, turn it on, and get this compartment down in here. Like the last one, I couldn't remember if there was supposed to be kind of like a flat bit on the back. And I'm pretty sure it's supposed to sit down in here kind of more like this, to where it's just about, can't really see it's in there. Like I think I put the compartment in that other one a bit too high. Like I think it's supposed to sit down in there kind of like that. There we go. Yeah, see? Kind of like a little bit further down. This one is actually in a little bit better condition than that other one. Let's give her a test. Let's test the other paw, the other function.
Losing a tooth is strange, but it's just part of growing up.
I just wonder if this was off of a show or...
So, who's ready to go explore the cabin some more? Wow, we did it! I feel great!
Alright, well this thing is fixed. We got another retro toy. back up and running. So, hell yeah.